Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take your life, your business, your health, fitness, mindset and body from where you are right now to where it is that you want to be. And today's topic is don't stop. Just don't stop. What do I mean? Well, I'm seeing a trend with just a general feeling in the community and a trend through conversations that I'm having with people and trends in people dropping off from group coaching sessions or individual coaching sessions, things coming up in people's way that is stopping them from continuing on their health and fitness journey. And even though you would like to think that, I'm teaching techniques and skills and giving them life sustainable education so that they can continue on, many people are either just about to start a journey or only just getting into it, and life comes along and it nudges them off the train tracks. So they don't know where to go anymore. So what do? They stop, they fall back into old habits. Why is that happening here? Now, I want to see if you can relate to any of these stories in your own personal circumstances. Melbourne, Australia, February 2021 right now. We're getting closer to March. February is often the hottest part of our year, and it's the time when we can have the worst bushfires of all time in February, just because we get that really hot, dry heat. But this year, it's been different. We've had a pretty mild summer. We've had, I'll say, weather more like Brisbane. If people know what the weather in Brisbane is like, it's north of Melbourne, so it's more tropical. They have more humidity, but they also have a more consistent weather than we do. But our heat has been a bit like theirs, a little bit humid. But we're also getting rapid changes. So, for example, last week we had a couple of days that were in the high 20s to low 30s, but it felt much hotter than that because of the humidity. This week, we're into the teens and we're into the low 20s at best. And it's been quite cool. At night time, it's been quite cold. Why am I telling you that? Well, I think in 2 days' time, it goes up to 28 and then it drops back to 18. So at this time of the year, we're seeing a lot of, at the moment, people that are getting ill. So when we have a dramatic change in the weather like that, and we've had it this week, then people get sick. What happens? They get a cough, they get a sniffle, they get a cold, and because of the COVID pandemic, if anyone's got a sniff, a cough, a tickle in the throat, anything like that, they're encouraged to isolate, go have a COVID test, and then take it from there, waiting for their test. Now, none of my clients have tested. I, in fact, don't know anyone that has tested positive to COVID. But because of the nature of it, it tends to, shut people down a little bit. Also, a week and a half ago, we were forced to be locked down for 5 days. And so when we get locked down, even though it was only for 5 days, and we were told that it would be 5 days, I don't think anyone really believed the state premier because of what's happened in the past. Me personally, I thought it would be 10 days at least, 14 days, up to 30 days, but we got lucky with the cases this time. But just in people hearing that, a lot of people just stopped. They just stopped everything, except for rushing out and getting the toilet roll and stocking up on supplies, even though none of the shops were shutting where we get food. None of them were shutting. And we were still allowed to go out shopping, to not even restricted to once a day, I don't think, but we were allowed to go to supermarkets and get our food and butchers, etc. But as far as the other areas of people's lives, they stop. Some of them they couldn't go to work, so staying at home, watching movies, doing whatever, taking a break, not working on the health and fitness side of things, not working on growing themselves, not working on growing their businesses and that kind of stuff. And for the first time this time, they shut down construction as well, which was kept sort of under the radar, really. I didn't really hear too much until one of my construction clients came in. He said, where we shut down? I said, oh, gee, I had no idea. Cost him something like $300,000 over the 3 days of business that they should have been open. 300 grand. The government then came out and said, we're giving you some grants to help this, maximum 2,000 grand. $2,000. So it means nothing to him, nothing at all. So what's my point in telling you all this? There are circumstances that come by all the time, but cause people to stop. The way that I've seen it impact my business is that I've had clients that are paying for services and group classes and coaching sessions and everything, and don't turn up. They just don't turn up. And in fact, I would say that attendance rates are down massively, probably 80% on some sessions. Why? Well, I chase people up. Some people respond, some people don't. Don't really know the answer. Some people are sick. Some people are just out of the zone. They're just not feeling like they can continue on at the moment. Obviously, a lot of people's mental health is impacted as well. And just when we start to get back to normal, bang, we are told in less than 24 hours that we're going into a 5-day shutdown. And what that does to the mental health of some people is that they just can't cope with it. And so people close up. They go crawl into their caves and do nothing. And then it takes a period of time for people to come out. So February is normally one of my busiest times of the year. And it was incredibly busy, but it could have been busier. And now, just the last 24 to 36 hours, I'm getting the phone calls, I'm getting the emails, I'm getting the text messages of people saying, I'm ready to start. For those people that, here was the thing, I had like three new people that were keen to get started with either one-on-one coaching or with group sessions just before the announcement to COVID. Not one of them followed through, despite follow-ups and everything. Not one. Now, why is that? Well, because they just went into their holes and said, no, I'm not going to do it now. Now, one of them I heard from today. A couple of others that had put things on hold a little while ago are now coming back. So the calendar is filling up even more now. But it's just interesting to observe human behaviour and see what goes on in people's lives and what stops people. Bottom line, as soon as things get a little bit rocky for people and something comes along to try and push you off those tracks, people can tend to crumble a little bit and think, oh man, I can't go on, I can't do this. And they just stop and wait for a period of weeks to then get going again. Now, in my case here, I'm talking about people's health and fitness journeys, but can you relate to that yourself? Do you do that with your own health and fitness and nutrition? Do you think about going on a pathway to success and you think about getting started, but then something comes and knocks you a little bit and say, oh, no, I won't do it now. I mean, I've been having a conversation with a lady for, I think it's been over 6 months now. And she says, oh yeah, I just need to get you back that form. Now, I knew when I gave her the form that she's unlikely to commit, even though she said she's going to commit. This is just the way that she seems to conduct herself. And so it just so happened that I ran into this person. She doesn't live locally to me. And I ran into her and she said, oh, how are you? And I thought I recognized her from the other side of the room. And sometimes I'm not really great at that. And as she was leaving, she said hello. And she said, oh yeah, I've really got to get you back that form. This is like months afterwards. I said, yeah, right, sure, just when you're ready. And guess what? A few months later, well, actually, it's probably about 6 weeks later. Still haven't seen anything from her. This is the way people run their lives. They stop. So what your objective is, don't stop. Keep going, keep moving forward, keep setting those targets, keep trying to get better every single day. Get your coach or coaches in the various areas of your life so that you can perform at your best potential. Because so many people just stop, and life is too short. We don't have enough time to stop and not achieve the things that we want to achieve. We've got to keep moving, keep setting those targets. That's what's important. As humans, we really respond to progress, momentum, continuing to move the needle forward to get better and better and better results. Because if you stop and then you start again, and you stop, then you start again, you find that maybe you're going a little bit backwards each time. And then if you graph this all out and said, okay, I stopped here, then it took me this amount of time, this amount of days, this amount of weeks, this amount of months, this amount of years to get back to where I wanted to be, to that starting position again. Because, when I first started writing my book, I got started, and then I reckon it was probably 6 months before I picked it up again. Because I said, I'll do it here. I'll do it on this weekend. Because when I first started doing it, my goal was to write every fortnight. Because the fortnight that I didn't have my girls with me, they were staying with their mum. So I thought, okay, I'll dedicate that weekend to writing. But often things would pop up on the weekend where I'd need to do other work. And by the time I'd got those things done, to kind of catch up for what happened through the week, I'd be so tired, I just need a break, and I wasn't getting a break from it. And so often that fortnight would go by, and then another one would go by, and then I'd start to write a little bit, and I just couldn't get the flow. In the end, what I had to do was just not stop. I had to do work on it every single day. And I'm sure many of us are years behind in certain things that we want to do, but because of the way that we approach it and this stop-start approach to things, we're not getting anywhere. One of the other things that I think helps us not stop is data, measuring things. Yesterday on my Rob Evans 365 podcast, I talked about the power of data. And right now with my own personal training, I'm just about to end in 2 days' time, my last workout of this first 4-week concentrated heavy training block for this year. And what I did was, first of all, I should tell you my objective is to get stronger every week. So over the course of the 4 weeks, get a little bit stronger each day, each week, each workout. And what I did was analysed each exercise and how much I've grown over the 4 weeks in terms of strength. And the pleasing news is that I do basically 3 workouts. One is like a pressing type of workout, and my average increase there was 30%. I do a pulling type workout, and my average increase there was 22%. And if I hit the targets that I'm aiming for on Sunday, then I will also be 22% increase in my legs. And so that's quite impressive because my objective is to get stronger. And even though some weeks you might think, gosh, I'm not progressing as much as I would like, but when you analyze the numbers, you realize that you're still moving forward. Like a 20% improvement is great. A 30% improvement is fantastic. And I've just got to keep moving forward. Now, is it likely that in this next training block, I'll get another 15, 20%, 30% improvement? Perhaps not. I mean, it's a law of diminishing returns. But the point is about continuing to increase. I mean, if I can get 5 to 10% increases across the same exercises for the next 4 weeks, then I'd be pleased with that. Because if I'm getting stronger then what else am I doing? I'm building muscle. What's my objective this year? Gain 4 to 6 kilos of muscle, lose 5 kilos of fat, drop my body fat percentage to around 8.3%. I know that's very precise, but that's how the numbers, I've calculated the numbers. Now, if I'm getting stronger, I'm building more muscle, and that's fantastic. My next DEXA scan to accurately measure this is coming up in almost another 8 weeks' time. So I can digitally and with an X-ray measure, okay, what's been the actual change here to my body? And that's exciting. That's really exciting. So why am I telling you that? Because I've put in place some measures for myself so that I don't stop. I keep moving forward. And at the end of this, so I've broken my training blocks this year down into 4-week, 4 times 3 blocks for 12 weeks. At the end of the 12 weeks, I'll have, it's yet to be determined with my coach, but I'll be having a little break. Now, that break might be for a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or whatever, before we get back in to the heavy training again. That's just to allow my body to recover. So what I need to do is make sure that I'm looking at my numbers, I'm continuing to build that momentum. Each workout, there's some more momentum and some more momentum and some more momentum. And that enables me to keep going. So it's like, wow, how exciting is this? I'm not going to stop now because look what I'm doing. I'm growing muscle. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting leaner. That's what's exciting. And it's all happening from my actions. So if I was stopping and starting, so I said this week or this next week, I'm tired. COVID's that we're going to be locked down again. I'm just going to stop. Then guess what? When I come back the week after, I'm not going to continue from where I left off. Or where I could be. I'm going to be stepping back a little bit. So I've lost that week of potential growth. Because in order to, this is the thing about growth, but particularly in the gym, but let's just say it's a 3-step process, or 4 steps. We'll go week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3, week 3 to week 4. 4 weeks, but 3 incremental changes. If I miss one of those weeks, it doesn't necessarily mean that I can jump from, say, let's say I miss week 2. Can I necessarily lift the same weight in week 3 that I was going to if I hadn't done week 2? The answer is no, because I'm building on it each week. Now, maybe I can get close, but because I'm building the strength each week, that's where I'm getting the muscle from. And isn't that true with so many things in life, whether it's the emotional muscle? You can't just go from, say, relationship-wise, you can't go from day 0 to day 20 to then year 5 and be that same person. You can't just go to that year 5. You've got to take each day at a time to get the growth, go through the battles, go through the struggles, create the scars, heal the scars, break the bones, let them mend and become stronger as well. And that's how you become stronger and more resilient. But if you stop any of this process, it either destroys the momentum completely and will stop you altogether, or it will slow everything down. Now, I'm not saying you don't rest from time to time. There's plenty of time to rest. But don't stop in striving for what's really, really important to you. That's my message for today. We're heading into the weekend here, Saturday, tomorrow. Have a great day wherever you are in the world. Stay safe. I'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget, if you want to start a conversation with me about anything to do with taking your level from your life level from where it is now to being unstoppable, go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com and let's start a conversation. Opt in for a free consultation there, and I'd love to have a conversation with you. Let's start moving. Don't stop.